That flew. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the first episode of Reclaiming the Crown. What this series is going to be is me explaining how I went from 1040 to now 1023, and hopefully back and better than ever. At one point, not that long ago, I was ranked 5th in the world on UDisc rankings, and I was 1039 rated. So I would like to, being ranked 5th in the world at this point would be a very good accomplishment, and being 1040 rated would be even better, which would be 1 point better than my best. So more of what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to diagnose every single week what I'm doing, what's wrong, how I'm going to get better, and what I need to do, or what, Nicholas Antela did, or whatever ex-player that won that week did great that I didn't do very well. And I'm going to take you guys through the process of me being better as a pro, and hopefully that is going to help you guys as amateurs or fellow professionals watching this, trying to get to the next level, help you guys do that. So one thing I've really diagnosed in myself and realized is that I went through months and months and months and months of being hurt. I got hurt March of 2023, didn't have surgery till July of 2023. So March, April, May, June, July. I played hurt for 4 months, and I just simply for those 4 months wasn't able to practice. So now we're in March of 2024, and I've taken it very easy on my arm. I've obviously done my PT, my pre-round warm-up, and my post-round healing, but I just haven't trusted myself to play more than like 18 holes or simply putt for hours and dedicate the time, energy, and effort needed to be one of the best players in the world. So I played at Waco, got 160,000th place. Wasn't very happy with that, but I had played the practice rounds and played really good. Going into Austin, I shot 10 under and 7 under my practice rounds, so of course feeling pretty good, but I haven't had any competitive juices flowing. So while the juices weren't really flowing, I just hadn't been able to score very well while I was on the course. And simply, it just drove me insane because I know the skill that I have, I know the talent that I have, I know how good I once was, and I just wasn't understanding and grasping as to why I wasn't playing the way that I had been accustomed to or worked so hard to get to at one point. And frankly, after the first round of the Open at Austin, I just had to have a self-reflection. And instead of getting mad and slamming my bag or throwing an absolute temper tantrum, which is what I wanted to do, I decided that I was going to throw in the field. And I told myself I want to dedicate time, effort, and energy into throwing in this field. Putting, I threw for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I putted literally until 10 p.m. that night after my round. And what I noticed is that magically I got better. Practicing, playing, having concise practice, having a goal in mind, knowing what I want to accomplish, knowing how I want the disc to fly, led to being successful. In the last 2 rounds of Open at Austin, I went from literally I shot 3 over the first round, and I think I shot 4 or 5 under the second round. And then the last round, which this round I shot wouldn't have been the one that catapulted me to win, but I shot 7 under with 3 less holes, and that's 10 strokes better than my first round after only doing 1 field work and practice session. So what I want to get you guys through and teach you guys in this series, and teach myself, I want you guys to hold me accountable. I'm one of the best players in the world. I was one of the best players in the world, and I still believe that minus 2 bad finishes, I went 5th place or 3rd place, 5th place this year, and then 83rd, 52nd or something. Not very good, but it's still in there. And I'm just excited to go through this process. And some weeks we might be putting, some weeks we might be throwing up shots, some weeks we might be working on 200-foot sidearm up shots, some weeks we might be working on my whole entire game if just everything I did wasn't good. So on those weeks where it's not good and I'm not happy with my play, I'm going to go to a field, I'm going to go to a course, and I'm going to break that stuff down. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to practice to get better. I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to regain the crown. I have 2 Disc Golf Pro Tour wins, handful or maybe a little more than a handful A-tier wins, and again at one point I was ranked 5th in the world at 1039 rated. I have the skill, I have the talent, I have the ability, and I have the work ethic. I've done it before. Why can't I do it again? And post-injury, why can't I take you guys on the journey? Hopefully influence you guys to practice more and play more and be better yourself. So today, what we're going to be working on, I have my trusty Infinite Disc bag here with putters. This field is not very big. I'm actually in Pop's front yard. So this isn't even a field, this is Pop's house. And I'm just gonna be working on up shots, but more than anything, working on my release angle. So I'm one of those players where I throw a lot of my shots, 95% of them, on hyzer, and either the disc flips up a little bit and goes straight and fades left, flips and turns, high, low, angles, nose angle, whatever. I don't throw very many flex shots. I don't throw very many flat shots at release and kind of let it flex. I like to throw on hyzer, and then from my hyzer, it's just about picking the correct disc. So what I did in that field when I threw for an hour and a half to 2 hours after my first round at Austin is I simply just threw on a nice controlled hyzer with all my discs to one basket 330 feet away. So I was throwing my putters pretty hard, my mids pretty soft, my fairway drivers not hard at all, and my distance drivers almost as soft as possible. So what that taught me and teaches me is to be able to control my speed, control my height, control my angles. And my first 2 shots, and I promise you this is the truth, I threw these 2 discs. This one, 60 feet right. This one, 60 feet left. So I had thrown 2 throws with the basket in the middle, 120-foot difference, and neither of the throws I even knew what the difference was, is where my problem was. So I threw and threw and threw and threw and threw and threw some more and threw a little bit more, then threw a little bit more, and let out some cuss words and went and chased them and came back and walked all over the place. And at the end of the day, my last 7 shots at 330 feet were within like 7 feet of this basket. And they felt controlled, they felt comfortable, they came out of my hand and they had nice glide and they had nice flip up. And every single shot was like the same height and the same trajectory. And what I was looking for is just some consistency. So the second round, I played pretty good. And the last round, I felt a lot more like myself. The tiny gaps I was hitting through those Austin woods felt like they were the size of a garage door. And I could just tell that work and that effort and time I put in is what made the difference. So if you want to practice, come on this journey with me. We're reclaiming the crown. And let's jump right into throwing some shots and showing you guys kind of what I'm working on and showing you guys how I'm going to practice just this release, because right now my game is so far off that I just want to get my release back, get my timing back, and show you guys kind of what that looks and feels like for a professional like myself, and hopefully something you guys can translate into your own game. Let's jump right into it. What I'm focusing on is I'm just going to try to throw out here at this tree on a nice flat controlled hyzer line, and that's all I'm trying to do, because when I get onto the course, if I can throw that shot over and over again, that means I can move it a little to the left to make anhyzer higher, lower, whatever. But my swing slot is here. On this, I don't know what degree, I'm not a geologist, so I don't know the degrees of hyzer, but I just want to be able to consistently have the disc come out of my hand, hitting my line, hitting my height, and on a hyzer. And then from there, it's just disc selection. So here, I'm just going to kind of rip a few, just get a little warmed up here, and just try my best to throw at the top of this tree with a little bit of hyzer. And so that makes me happy. So again, here we have the zone, a little bit more of a stability of a disc. So first throws, but land pretty much right on top of each other. And the only complaint is now is it's a little low. So what I'm going to do to correct that, probably drop my back shoulder down a little bit, get the pitch of my shoulders going upward, and just start trying to kind of hit that line now. And you do this enough times, and your body and your mind, you start to understand how to continually throw consistent shots and have a replicatable throw. So my goal right now is just to get my throw back to where it once was 2022, even the beginning of 2023 before I got hurt. My throw was like dialed. I felt like I could throw it through a gap this big, even though the disc, I felt like I could throw it through things that the disc didn't even fit through. And the first couple rounds of me being on the Disc Golf Pro Tour this year, I didn't feel like I could fit my disc through this gap. And that's a confidence issue, a practice issue. And when I played this off season, the times I did play, I played a wide open course in a wide open field with just a tee pad and a basket. It was pretty much field work with the basket. you're not going to ever really become great at this game with that practice regimen. But again, I was scared of hurting my arm. I wanted to make it to the season. You know, I had some pressure from some sponsors to perform and, you know, do my thing. So here we are, back on tour now, middle of March, reclaiming the crown is the goal, and let's get this thing. So that height was really good. Drifted a little far left. We're in a pretty good tailwind here, so that's going to happen. But overall, just trying to get a little bit of work in here and have something to be proud of at the end of the day. That flew really nice. And also, I was wearing this strap on my arm. It was making my hand not work the same. So after my surgery, my arm and my tendon and my hand strength is already different. So the way I grip the disc and the way the disc came out of my hand for the first 10 years of my professional career versus now literally weren't the same. And I was wearing this tendonitis strap that was then constricting the good tendons I did have and the function of my hand. And so putting, I had like no pop in my fingers when I was putting simply because my arm was restricted. So the last 2 rounds of Open at Austin, I took that stupid thing off. It's still right here, actually. This thing sucks, don't use this. And I felt more comfortable, not only throwing, but also putting. So, you know, part of what you think might be helping you because of a placebo effect might be part of your issue sometimes when it comes to trying to play through injuries or come back from a pretty serious injury. Yeah, that is a good throw. And these putters I'm now throwing are a lot straighter than the ones I was throwing before, hence the huge dispersion. Like, I was happy with the result of the ones that went left, and now I'm very happy with the ones that are going right. So, overall, in the field today, for one, this was introductory to teach you and tell you about what this was and what this is and what my goal is. But it was also to tell you guys I'm just working right now on the angle control. And there might be a point in this series where maybe I win next week and this is one episode, and boy, would that be great. But this might take me 2, 3, 4, or that'd be 1, 2, 3, but 2, 3, 4 years to accomplish this goal simply because of how great everybody is now. And I'm fine with that. If this is something I can keep going for years and years and accomplish this goal, that only speaks to the longevity of my career. So let's go pick those up. We're going to come back, maybe put the drone in the air, get some cool shots. And thank you guys for sticking with me. That's a tight grouping. Also, you guys, I need and want you guys to please go over to GibsonDiscGolf.com. Support that. We have mystery boxes, $65 for 5 discs, 1 misprint disc, all premium, good quality discs. We're not giving you guys any junk. Use code DREW to save 30% on your first month subscription box. My Infinite discs, or my Finish Line discs on Infinite disc, signature disc is online. So make sure to go to infinitedisc.com, check out my Radiant Forge interval. It is there. Please support me. One of the best flying drivers I've thrown in a long time. And then head on over to squatchdiscgolf.com. Use code DREW to save yourself on a bag. Not this one, my other bag. Use code DREW for free shipping. Thank you guys. Let's get back to the throwing. All right, let's get a few more tanks in here. And I'm gonna continue to throw before it gets dark, but I'll be done filming because my camera does not do the best in the dark. So let's get a few more shots in here, give you guys a little aerial view of what my form's looking like now, and hopefully be able to keep you guys updated going forward. So when I'm doing these shots, each disc might have a little bit of a release, but there is a goal in mind for every single throw. And mainly it's what I would use the disc for while on the course. So sometimes it might seem like I'm throwing a weird shot or doing something, but at the end of the day, I'm trying to practice using these discs on that release angle I've been talking about, but for a shot that would be actually adequate during a tournament for the shot, because I don't want to be only throwing hyzer with no matter what disc, because there's some discs that I don't throw on a steep hyzer, and there's sometimes, like this Envy here for example, I throw it flat or on flex on a lot of my upshots, so just like that. So that's as good as it's going to get. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being part of the first episode of Reclaiming the Crown. We'll see you in the next one.